Hi, my loves, and welcome back. So in this video, I am going to be talking to you about the art of attraction, of being really deeply attractive and being able to attract people in easily and effortlessly and really feeling deeply attractive within yourself. And in that, I have two announcements. So you can purchase a Goddess Body. The price is going to be going up soon. And it is a hypnosis audio plus a few modules that are included in it. I believe it's 3 or 4 modules that it's going to help you overcome any sort of body shame and really see where that's coming from, as well as help you tap into your ideal body now through the power of hypnosis in your mind. It's going to blow you away. It is so good. And also, the Art of Feminine Dominance, my methodology, my top selling program. We are in the pre-launch of that. So if you want to save and get a mystery bonus, which is worth so much, it is going to be amazing. I'm not telling you what it is. Then send me an email, Pamela@theawakenedaphrodite.com, or send me a DM on Instagram, Pamela at theawakenedaphrodite. And thank you so much for watching. So, being ridiculously attractive. I want to talk to you about this because this is something that I have been helping people. I have worked with men in this, and I have worked with women in this as well. It's something that I am very well known for in my circles, right? Yes, I help people make crazy amounts of money. When my clients just had a $17,000 week. And yes, I've helped people get exes back that had left them and then propose to them. Really beautiful things occur in my world. And part of that, though, is really being good at tapping into this energy of attraction and attractiveness. And I really want to let this video inspire you into your own delicious attractiveness, because let's face it, we attribute attractiveness to looks, okay? And one of the things that I do want to say is when we're talking about men, especially, men are visual creatures, okay? This is a very true thing. And I'm sure we've all seen it happen before where a man is with someone who is drop dead gorgeous and then leaves that person for someone who's not as good looking. So just being beautiful or being pretty is not true attraction in any sense. In fact, some of the most miserable people I've ever met in terms of attractiveness, especially with women, it's been a little bit of a different experience with men, because I think as women, we have different pressures and expectations and all of these different things associated with us. We're really attractive, in some cases, very wealthy women, right? I have worked with people that were celebrities in their own right, that were very good looking and quite wealthy, and they were miserable, okay? They were absolutely miserable. And it had nothing to do with how much money they had in their bank account. It had nothing to do with how attractive they are, right? And were at that time. It had everything to do with how they saw themselves as attractive. And this is one of the things that I go into in Goddess Body, which is my new hypnosis audio. And you can purchase that by clicking the link below. And also, have you ever experienced this? Have you ever experienced this where you just don't see yourself as attractive? I know that I've experienced this in my own life. There was a period where I look back at pictures and I look gorgeous, but at that time I didn't feel attractive, and I didn't feel magnetic, and I didn't feel like I could attract what I desired to attract into my world. Now, we don't actually attract things into our world. Our world is actually a reflection of ourselves, and that's something that I go into more deeply inside of my work and my programs. But I also understand that people know what I'm saying when I say attraction, and feeling attractive is a beautiful experience. Feeling yourself, even though we don't actually attract people in, that's not actually how that works in terms of creation and manifestation. Feeling attractive and experiencing yourself as attractive, and knowing yourself as a person who is deeply attractive, is a life-changing experience. And what happens is most people feel attractive either not at all, or they feel attractive in moments and then it goes away. And I'm really curious. I want to ask you, who would you be if you really truly saw yourself as attractive now? You looked in the mirror, or you're just walking down the street, and not in this necessarily sort of out there way, right? Like all the cars are honking and there's people are tripping over themselves, I'm assuming. But this way that maybe was a bit more subtle and deeply powerful, where you know that you can walk into a room, you, if you desired, could have whatever you wanted with ease. It would just come to you, right? So if there was someone that you were attracted to, they would come to you. And you had that kind of confidence in business. You knew that the perfect clients, they just come to you. Your vibe is everything. And equally, you didn't feel like you have to be high vibe, because I'm not high vibe. If you know me, if you've spent time with me, you know that I indulge in moments of misery, and like I'm very, I am that way. It's too many Scorpio and Capricorn placements for me to be high vibe all the time. That is for certain. And you don't have to be high vibe all the time. And the interesting thing about this is, when we look at attractive people, the most attractive people, okay, we're talking that seductive essence. We're not talking about beauty, because I think that is different. And even in astrology, this has very different energy, right? That beauty energy versus the, oh my God, like she's putting me into trance just being in her presence. Oh my God, am I drooling? I think I'm drooling, right? That's a completely different energy. Someone who's entrancing. To me, in my world, that's real attraction, and that has nothing to do with how you look. Some of the top, for example, dominatrixes, they are not necessarily the best looking people, and yet they have this presence, and they have this magnetism, and they have this power. I know that I have experienced this before in my life, with men that were not conventionally attractive, and yet I was so fascinated by them. And I remember there was someone in particular that I didn't date or anything like this, because we actually worked together at the time, and that would not have been worth it. But I remember there was this guy that he was not conventionally attractive. He was much older than me, right? He was certainly not known for his looks or his really anything in that realm of attraction. And I remember having this moment where I was like, God, he is so hot. What is going on? Why do I find him so attractive? This makes no sense. Um, and what it was his presence, and it was his power. It was his presence and it was his power. You see, when you know how to tap into this depth of a very specific kind of presence, and you also know how to be in your power no matter what. Listen, it is easy to be in your power when they're just a friend, when there's nothing on the table, right? When it doesn't really matter. Who has experienced that? I know I have, right? You're dating someone casually, for example, and you're like, whatever, and they're obsessed with you because you don't have any sort of investment, versus being with someone that you're really into, that you have a lot of investment in, or there being a job or a position that you really, really desire, where again, there's this depth of investment. I remember having this job interview many years ago when I put this into practice, when I was putting this together still, before I'd really brought it, like started, well, I'd already had a business, but my business looked very different at that time. And in one interview at a job that I wanted more than anything, I hunted them, right? I hunted them, like they did not seek me out. I I quadrupled, almost quadrupled my annual salary just by nailing that interview and having the confidence that I had and developed and still have at that time. I just had this recently with a client who got this massive raise, and she didn't even think that she would get it. Okay. She was like, I'm not going to get it. They literally told us we're not going to have it. No one's going to be able to get a raise this year. And she ended up getting it. And at first, it didn't seem like she was going to get it. And we really leaned into her power. And she said, I've never felt so confident in an interview ever before. I knew it was mine. And so this is an art, and people associate attraction with the come here and the having to do, but that's not what it is at all. Attraction is this confidence in knowing that it's yours, okay? That it is yours. That's what attraction is. Attraction is this depth of confidence in knowing, oh, honey, it's mine. Oh, it was made for me. You know that. Certainly you know that this was made for me. I know that this was made for me. I know that this is mine. This was mine the moment that it was created. It was literally created for me to experience. That is a specific flavor of attraction, or attractiveness, right? Magnetism. Sorry, it's getting late. I've had a really amazing day and a very long day. And so, um, a long but so good. Oh my God, the Mistress Mind call was like epic. Ugh, I'm reminiscing now. I digress. Focus. That is a very specific flavor of attraction and attractiveness. And that is a very specifically dominant flavor of attraction and attractiveness, which is what I teach. Okay. I teach you how to be in this place of dominance. And I want to be clear. I always get asked this, you know, but what about submission? But I love being submissive, like more submissive, right? And this isn't about having to be sort of in the world of of intimacy in that sense, right? This is just simply an energetic. So I'd also really invite you to sort of take away any ideas that you might have about what these things mean. I personally don't fully resonate with the labels of masculine and feminine energy because of the fact that feminine energy is just taught as submission, and I don't think that that's right, and I don't think that it's fair. And these teachings come from a limited amount of people. It's really two men that originated a lot of the modern sort of masculine feminine teachings. And so one of the labels that I have sort of brought in are dominance and submission, and it really isn't what you think. And I also acknowledge that with those labels, there's probably a specific image that goes into your head, which, if you're anything like me, is a very delicious image. Oh, yeah. Here I am. And can't stop, won't stop. And it's actually a lot more subtle than that in practice. It really is stepping into the space of energy and focus outwards, like, I'm looking at you, yes, you, or energy and focus more inward. Oh my goodness, are you looking at me? Right? Oh my God, I'm blushing. Oh my God, I have chills, right? It's just shifting the energy in that way and creating intentional polarity. And whenever you create intentional polarity, you create attraction. Okay. And in the masculine and feminine, now this is becoming a podcast. I realize maybe I should just turn this into one. This is almost like a mini masterclass in some ways, which is quite cool. So make sure that do you like this? Do you like this format where I just get on here and sort of haphazardly go into things? Do you? Tell me, comment down below. Or do you prefer when I have sort of a set topic and I really stick to it and I nail it and I get in there and I get out? Let me know. I want to know. So what the masculine and feminine energy teachings seek to do is to create that intentional polarity. And that's one of the things that I really love about it. The problem is that there's actually a lot of stuff that gets taught in that is very repressive. And I know so many people that have been harmed in those teachings and forced into sort of these boxes that don't even resonate for them. And anyways, I digress. Intentional polarity, and this is something I am really here to shift and help you shift. Intentional polarity creates attraction. Intentional polarity creates magnetism. Intentional polarity and knowing how to do this well beyond masculine and feminine. Like, to me, the other thing with the masculine and feminine teachings is, in some ways, not all of them. I have had great experiences and great teachers in that world. But in my world, it's like child's play. It's like, really? This is your polarity? Oh my God, I'm bored. Sagittarius problems. You know how we roll. We're like, oh my God, this is it. Unimpressed. I try. We try. Who else here struggles with it? Who has Sagittarius placements or, has a similar affliction? And so to me, those are basic, sort of like, okay, more tiny, I suppose, in my world, polarity creations versus what I talk about, which is very intense polarity, which I love, and my Scorpio placements also really love, and I'm sure yours will too. So anyways, attraction has nothing to do with how you look, okay? Now, if you think it does, then of course it does, and it will. And you actually get to tap into the power of your presence and in knowing how to create really intentional polarity, and that is going to change your world. If you want to learn more about how I do this and how you can do this too, how my clients do it and have resurrected their relationships from the dead, and also asked for more money in high stakes situations than they ever have and gotten it, then I highly recommend that you sign up for the Art of Feminine Dominance. And if you have more questions about that, you can either click the link below, or you can send me an email, Pamela@theawakenedaphrodite.com, or send me a DM at The Awakened Aphrodite. If you have DM'd me and I have not responded to you, I have not seen it, okay? So comment on a recent post of mine just saying, hey, I DM'd you, okay? And I will respond. Now, if somebody's sending me spam, I'm not responding, right? Because I've also had people do that. Hey, check your DMs. I'm sure people get that as well. I'm not going to respond to that. But if your DM is clear, hey, I'm interested in working with you, then I will absolutely get back to you and we will get you set up with the program. This is going to change your life forever. And I'm so excited for you. And I love reading your comments. I love seeing all the familiar faces here. I love the little crew that we have going of commenters. I'm like, oh my God, look, you're here. Thank you. And I just want you to know how much I appreciate you. And I appreciate you being part of this reclamation of power and aliveness and wealth movement that I have started. And I'm so excited to work with you and get to know you better as well. So whether it's day or night, I love you. I love you. I love you. And I am so excited to see you. Until next time, my loves.